you doing there, guys? I'm Bruce. I have the founder with me, Nizam of Acadle LMS. Say hello, Nizam.
Hey, hi everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to those who hear to us now.
Yeah. So guys, we'll give you a quick little preview. The last webinar we did on Friday had hundreds of comments, right? And we didn't get a chance to answer all of your comments on screen. And I know sometimes if one person asks a question, there's probably 3 other people who are probably thinking the same thing. So we figured we would do a short Q&A, but we're answering your questions that came up from Friday. So that's what today's going to be essentially. We'll do the standard Q&A on Friday, but we just want to give you kind of like an update as well as answer some unanswered questions.
For episode 1.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump in, and thank you for joining us today. By the way, if you'd like for us to give you a shout out and a hello by name, please go ahead and give approval to StreamYard. I don't know what your name is, so I'm sorry, but thank you for joining us today. So let's go ahead and bonjour. Let's go ahead and pick up some questions here. Okay, Jordan Z had said last Friday, any questions or plans for a built-in forum?
Yeah, absolutely. So we had a good conversation about this with a couple of customers, and seems like there is a very good interest in the public forum within the academy. So we've decided to put that into our upcoming modules. So the moment, like I mentioned before, the moment we are done with our LTD highlighted features, we're going to have all this, and we are going to again reprioritize all our sprint, and we'll be definitely considering this particular option. So we will have a built-in forum within Acadle for you.
Appreciate that. Thank you, both to you, Nizam, and to Jordan for the question.
Yeah, thank you.
So Aditya says, just curious, is Acadle position more towards community/teams or coaching?
Yes, Aditya. So I think this was something that I tried communicating with the group that we had in the community. So I'm from an enterprise background, and I know the problems that enterprises face. I mean, that's what my my strength is. And I know that there is a problem that is there in the market. We look at a couple of very large solutions available for enterprises or teams or marketing companies. Those are kind of very costly, and that kind of gave us a thought to start something like Acadle. So we initially started with the problem that we had as a company, as an organization, as a team leader, as somebody who was hiring Salesforce to the organization, supporting, etc. So this started with that piece of focusing those pain areas. But after having this LTD, what I've realized is I think the features are pretty much the same, the B2C and B2B. The only unique difference is that there is a payment recurring subscription involved, but rest of the items, a lot of these features that came from the B2C friends, kind of very, very important or very good to have for the B2Bs as well. So we positioned as towards coaching, training, onboarding, because that's what our strength is. But I think our strength has gone beyond our skills, because there is a bunch of good friends joined us, giving us a lot of thoughts and ideas about how Acadle could be in the near future, or how we can basically make it as another best platform. So this is getting extended, of course. Yeah.
Cool. Appreciate it. Thank you, Aditya, for the question. Nico, let's talk about Nico real quick. So guys, we wanted to also announce the winners of last Friday's giveaway. So based on the amount of questions that were coming up, we wanted to say congratulations to Nico Norster. He was one of the winners, and the other one is Dothi, and we'll contact you both after today's webinar and get you guys your coupon code licenses for your tremendous amount of interest and queries, both during and after the live stream webinar. So thank you for that. So let's go ahead and start. Let's go ahead and start with Nico's first question. Nico had said, problem solving is a major issue that I use. Is it possible for students to work together on certain lessons within a course or a full course, collaborative learning tools. Makes sense.
Absolutely. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And that is something which we are very much looking into. Collaborative, engaging, collaborating and engaging learning. And that's exactly what we're trying to build. And of course, Nico, this is in our top priority.
Perfect. Let's go ahead and move on to the next question. To the person who asked if they are live, we are not going to have any live guests today. Today's going to be a rather short one. This is more of a filler of the Q&A that we didn't get to finish last Friday. We're answering everyone else's questions since we had so many. Thank you again for all of everyone's participation last week.
I really don't think we'll even get 1 hour to finish the questions last time. I think it was like hundreds.
Yeah, I counted 300 questions, and that was spread over multiple groups. So yeah, we have another one from Nico coming up. Any plans for integrating with Canva, Crello? I think you meant Crello, or similar tools for quick image adding. Maybe Padlet works for this. Any ideas? I like that.
Yeah, that's a very good thought. Not something which is going to be coming quickly, but these are really going to be an extra toolkit for the teachers and the owners, the editors. So of course we would really love to have this kind of integrations coming in soon, but and that requires its own effort and a skill set to put something like Canva or stuff. But of course this is something that you can definitely consider adding.
Perfect. Have another comment coming in. Oh, it's Jeremy Crisp asking. Oh, there you go. Hey, hope you're enjoying your code, and thank you for joining us on camera last week. Feel free to join us coming up on this Friday. Thanks, Jeremy.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Okay, moving on to the next one. So Nico also asks, can I use this for IQ tests, non-formal learning, goals, performance management, employee progress, and micro-learning?
Absolutely. So what we have coming in the certification part is also that we're going to give flexibility to the teacher or the editor, more flexibility to assess their students based on multiple parameters. And these parameters can be created by the teacher itself, or this can be automatically generated by the system. So this actually came from another discussion with another customer. So of course, so this, and again, coming on the IQ test, I mean, there are some parameters that are dependent on testing an IQ. So of course, these kind of things can be brought in when it comes to assessments. And we'll definitely make sure to give you the flexibility of choosing what parameters that you want to include while doing the assessments. So yes, my answer is yes, we can. You can very much use when we have this. But when we are launching, we'll be launching the first kind of an MVP, and after getting the feedback, we'll be keep on adding further, not MVP, I think I should say a minimum viable feature, and then we'll be keep on adding extra on top of that.
Perfect. I'm particularly fond of this next question because I do a lot of work offline too for brick and mortars, terrestrial, whether it be retail, whether it be schools, or whether it be businesses. So Nico's next question is it easy to create a course that exists both offline and online?
Yeah, so I even kind of tried answering Nico, but I think it is also important to understand what is an offline material. This could be the books that you have. So the editor, if you saw our editors, we try to give as much as option where you can embed external things to the lessons, right? So so this has to be a combination of live, offline, online things. But I think when it comes to offline materials, having a PDF attached or a book review attached, I think should definitely be something that you can even do now.
All right, thank you. Let's go ahead and jump into the next question here. Nico, again, how extensive will the quizzes be? Can we suggest question styles or formats?
Yeah, so you will have a predefined set of form elements, and these form elements can be used with certain conditions initially, and you will also have the option to predefine the answer. So that's how the question is coming. So one is you will have the flexibility of putting the answer so that students will be able to see the answers in real time once they're done with the quiz. Second is it will be something that will be submitted to you, and you can only see the result after submission. So we will give you the flexibility of deciding whether you want to show the result to the students or not.
Perfect. Moving on to the next one. Nico with a follow-up says, is it possible to use Acadle for storytelling, such as interactive videos or extra content next to videos, such as storyline, comic strip, audio, and social media? And I think he's referring to, let's say, like the format. So you would have, let's say, two students, let's say, on the left, and then you would have like a picture that you're looking at analyzing, or maybe a document that you're reading together. In other words, I think he's referring more to the layout.
Yeah, understood. So what we have done today, I mean, something that went live today is that so there is an option where you can minimize the list of lessons that you're seeing on the courses. So when you minimize it, you are basically getting a better size to preview your the lesson content. So what you can better do is that you can even use some basic code to create probably a 2-column table, and on the left side you can have something running like a video. On the right side you can have some promotional materials or videos, or maybe a chat embed or something which can go live on the right side as well. One interesting feedback from what we got last on our first episode was to create some templates. I think when we bring all that like templates, I think this will make much better sense to even convey that to the user, saying that hey, there is another option here as well for you to make engaging storytelling interactive methods.
Yeah, and it makes sense. The more that you can get people to interact with the platform, the more that they're going to have a certain affinity and they're going to grow to love it. So that totally makes sense, especially when you apply gamification, right? That extra component will get people to play with the platform longer, essentially.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, Nicolas, is it possible to run a blog next to the courses within an academy? And I thought about this and I asked him, well, what would the use case be? And in a way, it could also be used to not just provide a description, but also get people's like a hook and grab, get their interests about a certain blog, especially when you have content about a certain course that's often dynamic, such as marketing courses. Those are very updated often. They're not static. They're very, I don't want to say nebulous either, but very dynamic, right? So having a blog that's associated specifically to a course, once he explained that to me, I saw the relevancy in that.
Absolutely. And I think I also mentioned that you can very much create one lesson called blog, and you can iframe. You can put an iframe to the blog, and that way you can basically mention the blogs there as well. I've seen somebody who really even put the course content the blog content from an external source as a carousel, and that was looking very good. So he used a basic code to automatically get the content from the blog, and he was using that as a carousel within the academy. So you can very much do all that. I mean, you can bring a carousel, you can bring an iframe. You need some sort of a code knowledge with that, but I think it's pretty much doable.
Perfect. Moving on to Nico's next question. By the way, I really like that blog question. Moving on to the next one. Is it possible to add certain elements to a course? For example, a timer. Any plans to also connect human resources system to Acadle? To me, that just made sense when he said that, by the way. Attendance, talking about attendance. Is it going to be manual? Can it be done mobile, or even tracked for offline classes?
Yeah, I think it's coming, yes. It's in the plan.
That kind of remind me of almost like Google Classroom type components, where you can use, for example, imagine using an LMS as a depository of knowledge. While you do an in-person class, you can basically have all your content duplicated virtually or online. So that way, while you're having classes online, people can still use it as a form of reference, kind of like an online library of classes, documentation, homework, etc., while they are still attending a class in person or online. Would you say that's a suitable use case that you saw Acadle possibly being used in the future as well?
Absolutely. And this is relevant for both B2B as well, not just for the school students. I mean, this is very much required for a B2B enterprise or a startup to really understand how much of the effort has gone into spending time with the courses, spending time on videos, spending time on multiple materials that are shared with the employee. So yeah, so that's the reason I was saying that all these are pretty much relevant to B2B, even though it is considered as a B2C use case.
I completely agree. Moving on to Nico's next question. Can I create a catalog of courses? Can I create a private catalog maybe for one company only? In other words, he wanted to create probably a course within a university and just make that one course available to just that one company.
Course. So yeah, so one feature that we had going live was groups. So what you can do is you can create groups for different companies, and you should be able to restrict those courses to those groups which are part of those companies. I think if I understood the question correct, I think this could be possible with the help of this groups option. Yeah.
It sounds like a solid workflow, but instead of you titling it a company, you just give the name of the group, that name of that company, and associate that employees to that group. Same thing. Yeah. Okay, is it possible to set up or create the MOOC format, focusing on text or context, dynamic context, building on over time around static content? Again, I used the marketing niche as an example of dynamic content that's constantly evolving or updating.
Yeah, so let's say that if there is a data which is coming from an external source, right, and if that data is updated, like simple example is that if you're putting a script from an external source to basically show a live stream of a live TV, maybe. So it's a content which is getting updated outside of your basic academy. So like I also saw somebody who's putting a VR sort of interface, 3D walkthrough, 3D walkthrough inside the academy where they can basically go get this views of their building. It's mainly made for the real estate. Inside the kitchen, everything can be like tracked and dropped. I think bringing real-time content from an external source is pretty much possible. Just that you need some basic code information because that can be done with the embed.
Perfect. Let's go ahead and jump on to the next one. So Nico asks, is there an agenda? In other words, how much can he plan certain topics or tasks in advance? Can we plan with trainers? Can we plan courses? Can we plan live sessions? Can we add, let's say, Zoom links to those live sessions if we want to use our own live video service?
Yeah, so there are some, so if you look at our documentation page, help.acadle.com, we've already listed few active third parties which can be used directly with the Acadle even right away. I mean, you don't have to wait for us to launch the live streaming. And we have our own live streaming which is also coming in where you can do live streaming to your audiences. So how that is going to come is that you can control to get students subscribing to get notified when the live is starting. And you'll be also able to see in real time who is attending the live session. And maybe in future, we'll also give you the option to record that particular live streaming, and you should be able to push that live streaming back into another course as another lesson. So we'll give you those flexibility. But right now, yes, having this external using as a live session is pretty much possible, yes.
Let me go ahead and share the screen for the live streaming integrations that are already discussed.
Sure.
And get that out of the way. So currently, you can see live YouTube live webinar, OneStream live. If you have pre-recorded, let's say classes, OneStream live would be a great way to go. Do you just need a certain URL from, let's say, like a live stream URL? How would that work, or how does someone apply one of those into the backend? Is there just a place to say, please insert your YouTube live here, and they can take questions on YouTube live, and then the replay shows up?
Yeah, just copy paste the URL and the preview gets added automatically, just like your normal how the YouTube is getting added currently to Acadle. So if you tried YouTube Live, you have the flexibility of making that live as a private or unlisted. So that gives you also a kind of a privacy that it is not going to all the users. You can only
It's 9
use it
o'clock.
for your audience. Yeah.
Right. So in that case, is it possible then to replace a YouTube live URL with, say, a Zoom link?
I haven't tried that. A Zoom link cannot be directly done. I don't really think so. Because I have to try that.
Okay, got it. All right, let's go ahead and move on down to his next question. Sorry about that. Okay. So is it possible to add an end of time course, for example, timer-based courses for specific exams? And I'm going to go even further. I'd like to apply timers to specific lessons so that way people are reminded, let's say when they're in a dashboard and it's Friday morning and they have to finish a certain course by, let's say, Friday at midnight. Is there a timer there to remind them, hey, you have a certain assignment, you have a certain project that you have to complete by a certain time? That timer can remind them, oh, I forgot, I have to get that done this week or today.
It's not there. It's in the pipeline. It's not there right now.
But that is a good idea, right? I mean, putting that inside the dashboard or associating it to a certain class to notify you, you do have a certain assignment that you have to finish.
Yeah.
All right, moving to the next one. Is there a way for enrolled students to upload homework? Is it possible for the instructor to leave feedback on said homework?
Yeah, that is also coming in the same upcoming feature list.
Nico, with another one, guests were mentioned. Can I also give a reviewer access to fact check or to provide content review on certain parts? And can I limit access to that guest as well?
Yeah, this is an interesting use case that was shared by a couple of people. That just like how we share Google Docs, we should be able to share the link with our colleagues, or we should be able to share a public link with somebody else, etc. So this is something that we added to our pipeline again. And I should tell that Nico has given us a lot of good thoughts, and what we are trying to list here is those is not available in Acadle at all, but it gives you an idea that whether it is available or not available, are we planning it in the future or not?
Well, I do have to say thank you to Nico, because even I was answering or asking some questions and going back and forth and trying to understand his mindset. And he made me think of a lot of different dynamics that maybe came from a competitor, or he brought a lot of things that we take for granted, like a lot of offline components that I never thought of applying or even using in an LMS of my own. He was like saying, when you have certain things that you do offline, you apply that online, such as, talking about a certain topic. It just makes sense to have, let's say, a news section about a certain topic, let's say live streaming. A lot of you guys know I'm a big advocate of live streaming. Well, if there was a live streaming course, I'd like to have a blog talking about the news, about certain major updates in the live streaming industry. To me, that just made sense, and I really liked Nico's mindset when it came to a lot of the things that he was asking or suggesting. And that's why he was last week's winner. So we'll have another winner starting this Friday too, just FYI, guys. Also, down below, you'll see here that I've put along the ticker tape of this week's coupon code. It ends on Friday, so please use your MarTech coupon code as a reminder. You'll also get your 20% off coupon code on the bottom. Okay, move on to the next question. Gillen Vadim says, is there a goal to which Acadle sets for itself? To be the best.
I want to say that everybody wants to be the best, and we need that. But our focus is going to be productivity and effectiveness. I mean, it's going to be engaged. I think it's going to be enabling engagement, collaboration, and increasing productivity. And these are going to be three pillars that we're going to focus. And of course, the goal is going to be the best. I don't want to change that. Everybody wants to, yeah.
Okay, moving on down to the next one. So Gillen Vadim asks, what plans do you have to expand on the page builder? For example, the ability to view the lesson of the page at full width, having a lesson complete checkbox, etc.
Yeah, absolutely. These are. I mean, we are actually going to spend a lot of time on this editor, and we need to make sure, because see, there is one comment that we get consistently that it is simple, and a couple of people who took that as a negative. Yes, it is too simple, and a very good number of people who took it as a positive. Yes, it is very simple. So, and we want to keep that simple. So we will be adding a lot of other features to minimize or simplify the effort of building a lesson, just like adding an extra space or adding another existing template, or probably we will also create some predefined set of, like a slider, all that, and you should be able to simply click on and edit it. So we'll be focusing a lot on the editors once we have our core features live.
Got it. Thank you for that. Alex Ragozino asks, let's say if we stack, will we be able to resell academies or be able to manage academies for our clients? I'll put a little bit of an expansion. I like the idea of managing academies for your clients, but let me try to elaborate on that. I wouldn't say for your clients. I would say do it with your clients, because the more that the client sees that you're communicating with them, you're interacting with them, you're capturing their feedback, they feel like it's not your vision of their academy. They feel like it's how do I say this? They feel like it's a collaborative group effort or team effort. So I feel like you prove your value more when it's done conjunctively, because a lot of people don't want to do things on their own, right? And I'm pretty sure you don't, and you want to get a lot of that feedback with your customers. So when it comes to, or your clients, so when it comes to academies, I would say, and I like the idea of collaborating with them. I don't know if that's a possibility. I'll leave that to Nizam. I'm just saying from the mindset, doing it as a collaboration, I think makes more sense as opposed to compared to you handling and manage the university on your own.
Absolutely. I agree with you, Bruce. Yeah.
So let's go into the reselling. Reselling and the managing. Can an admin, let's say of an Acadle agency account, can they go in and manage their either one of their 7 primary academies or any of their sub academies?
Yeah. So the main 7 academies, when you start 10, those are accessible by you. You can access, you can edit, you can change the content. So this is like maybe your clients where you have the rights or the permission to go and access to, and you manage the content and the activities. By the way, the agency accounts are going to be completely private. You have no rights to get into it. And you will not have any permission to do that, but you will have the flexibility of changing everything in terms of the branding, domain, etc., etc. The agency academies are going to be, you are going to build your own SaaS. So it's like you just launched your copy of Acadle, and you're going to have all the features there. And there will be a basic fare. Sorry. There will be a basic fare, and you can put your cost on top of it, and you'll be able to sell it to any price you want. So those are going to be extra flexibilities. But yeah, like I mentioned, agency academies are going to be completely private, and that is for your reselling. That is giving you flexibility to resell. The academies that is coming under the main stack, you can very much access that, and you'll be able to manage, edit, etc.
How's the reselling going to work?
Sure. So the resellers, like for example, the academies that are coming under the agencies, what we will be giving you is that initially there will be a setup. So what we are right now working is when you onboard as an agency, you will have a couple of settings for you to set up your domain, set up your branding, set up your logo, etc. And there will be a landing page for you, which basically lists the pricing. Second, we'll also give you the base fares. For example, if our Acadle price is, let's say, $40, we'll be giving you the base fare as, let's say, I'm just giving a sample. This is not a price which is going to come in future. Let's say the actual price of that, the same academy that is available in main Acadle, if it is going to be $40, we'll be giving it to you for $30. You can sell it for $50. You can sell it for $60, and nowhere Acadle name will be mentioned, and this is going to be your own SaaS. You can buy a bunch of academy. There will be multiple levels of agencies as well, platinum, gold, etc. And for individual levels, there will be a percentage increment also. For example, for those with 10 academies will be one tier, another with 50 academies will be another tier. For 10, they will get 20%. For 50, they'll get 30%. I'm just giving an example. So there are a lot of things coming in the agency thing, which is exact copy of how I build Acadle as a business. You can build your own SaaS Acadle platform. That's the whole agenda with the agency.
I like that. I like that setup. It gives then a reason for the owners of the Acadle LMS to even act as a reseller, since in a way it's kind of like their own brand. And then you don't have to be in charge of your selling. You know, the agencies, the Acadle agencies can, as well as provide their own level of support. I think we talked about this once or twice, but I'm going to do it as a quick recap. If you're also an agency, you can insert your own JavaScript, so that way you can have your own chat widget. The reason why I say that is because sometimes your clients want to talk and interact with you because they've bought the software from you, instead of having no support at all, especially if you're tagging on. So what we do, also, I should put this out there. So there's an industry in the United States called MSP. So that's called managed service providers. And it doesn't matter if you're in the marketing niche and you're in the IT niche. The idea is that if you have a software stack, you don't have to resell the stack at the exact same cost of what it's seen publicly or what you bought it for. And the reason why I say that is because guess what? What if you apply your own time, your expertise, you add a service onto it, right? So then let's say you bought something for $10 or $100. That doesn't mean you can't resell it for $250 because you're applying your time, knowledge, maybe even your support, right? Imagine you have some sort of video-based chat tool like Crisp, like Customerly. I think ABC's coming out with one. So imagine having that, you know, inside your Acadle agency, where you can sit there and respond to people. And if they have questions, you could do, like, let's say, a quick video of a screen share, directing them on how to access certain parts of their LMS. Why? Because you're going the extra level and you're providing them with support. So I just want to put out there, just because you buy something doesn't mean you have to resell it at the same price. You can always charge more, which is what we do here at Bet Computers. But it's a thought process that you can resell it more than what you pay for it or more than what you see publicly listed. So just FYI.
Absolutely.
Okay, moving on to Alex's next question. Can you talk a bit about the live streaming capability that you are developing? That's my favorite question. Okay, so go ahead.
Sure. So the live streaming capability is going to be, we are going to give you an option to mark a course as a live streaming. And you will also have a couple of extra options saying that, hey, is it going to be active? That course is going to be active all the time? Or you wanted to only enable it when the live streaming is active, etc. Or if you want to schedule the duration of accepting registrations. For example, let's say you have 1,000 students and you need to only give this access to 20 people who comes first. So you can make it published, and you can also get the interest from students saying that, hey, I'm interested, and notify me. So et cetera will be coming. Those are some sample configurations I'm going to give you. So we will also have our own streaming thing. So the moment the time comes, just like how this StreamYard works, right? So you can directly log into your admin access. You can start the streaming, and that will be like available for your students to view. And there'll also be a list of students which are in live viewing, and we'll also be bringing live chat feature where you can basically engage in the live streaming activity. So it is going to be whole inbuilt. Plus, if you already use some external live streaming solutions, instead of using ours, you can use that.
Perfect. Mario had a question. Need to DM you, Bruce. I'm visiting the subject about small businesses. Guys, feel free to reach out to me if you have questions about selling, reselling. That's perfectly fine. Thanks, Mario. Go ahead and reach out to me anytime. All right, moving on down to the next question. So Cody Lab says, in the language section, there are only 26 different texts to translate. How do I translate the rest? That's a good question.
Okay, so the language area is mainly for the students, for the users, people who are actually going to say it, not for the admin. And there are very limited number of texts. I mean, rest is all built by you, because if you take, there is register, there is login, there is view, access, there is back to courses. So the number of text available in the UI is very, very small. If you find anything that is missing in that, please let us know. We'll go ahead and add it. I kind of don't remember anything which is missing, but there is everything that is required for the users UI for you to translate.
Perfect. Jody Cash says, I'd like to see a pre-designed layout so there is something to work with versus a blank page. Is that coming?
Yeah. That was something which we discussed in the last episode as well. So that's something which is asked by pretty much everybody, because they know the moment they land, they feel like it's a blank land, right? So I think we'll give you the some options to choose some templates to start with.
Moving on down to Gene Rebel. Gene Rebel says, neat, looking good. Any ideas how this compares to Tutor LMS?
It's kind of pretty early to compare directly with Total LMS, but I think we are definitely going towards where Total LMS is also addressing as a enterprise solution. And we are pretty much going to cover what they have as well. But a few things are going to be that, one, the simplicity of how you can build and release your academy in a matter of, let's say, minutes or hours. That's going to be our focus all the time. I have used LMS, Total LMS, and I also tried implementing for one of my clients. So this is going to be one in terms of the experience of how your users are going to use it or how your teachers are going to build it. Second is going to be how do we give you extra flexibility. For example, I have experience while I'm building the course inside Total LMS. I have to literally go into multiple steps if I want to just build a single course. So we are trying to minimize all that in terms of experience. Plus, the engagement is the core factor which we're trying to bring into Acadle. So maybe it is too early for me to just go ahead and compare with Total LMS. Maybe after a couple of months, I'll have something which is to show you and tell you, hey, this is what we are literally doing different from Total LMS. Because otherwise, what will happen is everybody will say that, okay, he's just talking and everything is in the coming soon. And I don't believe in coming soon. So, I mean, I don't want to give that opportunity to people saying that. So.
Well, let's take a quick break on the questions, and what we can do is address some of the things that have come out last week. You know, that kind of makes sense, and anything that may have come up this week. So instead of just saying everything's coming soon, there's a few integrations that have come out, which we should probably announce, and that you've even done some walkthroughs on, and maybe some updates. I know people were also asking for Spanish translations as well, but let's go ahead and talk about real quick what has happened last week and this week, just to get people caught up.
Yeah, so I think there were a good number of updates when it comes to, and our ET is also public, by the way. So we had this group, which is the core, feature, which is going to give you a lot of flexibility in thinking some workflows, really. For example, if you want to divide the entire team into multiple divisions based on their experiences, based on their designations, based on the area they're working, you will have all your, in your hand, you can do all that by yourself. Group them, give them the access by group, etc., etc. We've also made that available in the APIs as well. For example, if you want to automatically add a user when he's joining, or like, for example, let's say if somebody is booking a Calendly with you, right? Currently, so the moment a booking is confirmed, you can automatically send an invite to them and add them to a group called Calendly. So this gives you a good number of flexibility when you work on those APIs, right? Then we have this unlocking or drip content as another feature that was added last week, where you can basically decide when this content should be displayed to the user. That is another very important feature that went last week. And language was also something which went last week. So, I mean, we keep on adding things. And this week also we have some plans. But we are focusing more on the compatibility issues that was reported by the students, by the users. So we're trying to see if we can get a better mobile usage, better browser, because we need to listen to our own customers. So, I mean, at times we'll have to reprioritize keep on building, rather serving to our customers who's already trusted and paid to us. So, so I think we'll be keep on adding features, and we'll be updating on our community as well. So feel free to join us. We have a very good community that is so engaging, and please search for Acadle community. And we're discussing, we're sharing videos. Today we kind of published a video where ConnectSet did a wonderful integration, and we kind of showed a demo there how ConnectSet with the ConnectSet. I mean, it's a free tool and it's an amazing tool, very, very easy to build workflows, right? So how you can use that to automatically send invites when somebody is booking the calendar. So I think Just join us on the community and share your feedback, good, bad, ugly. Happy to take it and help you with the answers. Yeah.
Let's give people a quick 10 or 20-second, let's say, elevator pitch of what ConnectSet is exactly, because a lot of people have probably never heard of who that company is or what that brand is or what they do.
Sure. I think I mean it's a very, but the best pitch is like it's a Zapier alternative. What I love about ConnectSet is the way that they built their the workflow designer. Drag and drop, connect the elements, and push the items, and you can pretty much get your workflow active in a couple of minutes. We are planning for a stream tomorrow with a founder on our own community, and we'll be testing a couple of integrations between external tools and Acadle. So feel free to join our community, and you should be able to see this demo or some walkthrough of how you can use Acadle with ConnectSet. And the founder is also going to be there on the call with us.
They have a lot of integrations already, and I'm surprised how someone built a nice UI when it came to connecting a lot of these pathways and workflows between applications. So I want to give props to the ConnectSet team. They did a nice job on the interface. So yeah, it looked pretty, and I was kind of taken away by seeing, wow, there's so many of those tools that are already working there. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Unais has a question. Till when is the payment gateway integration? When is it estimated to come out?
Okay, so that when is actually a tricky question. Like I told you before, so we were not really thinking of B2C before we launched our LTD. The B2C payment gateways, all that, direct integration. I mean, if that was our main focus, and we would have bought that in the first before the launch. But the focus changed later. I mean, we realized that our users wanted this gateway. But I have already given a promise on my LTD page that I have some features which is in the pipeline. So I definitely cannot give you a straightforward time in terms of the payment gateway, because I have to finish what is already promised to the LTD customers who trusted and who bought the course from us. But soon after we finish that, I think I can hope by this next 2 months or 3 months we should be able to have all big or the core payment gateways on our platform.
Plus, I might as well put out there, nice, if you want to, you can use Plug and Pay now to handle Stripe and PayPal payments now for subscription, one-time payments. Free trials, I think, are already there. And then Razor Pay is coming sometime in October, from what I hear. So,
and the Pathway is also there, and ConnectSet is also having payment gateway integration. So I think you already have payment gateways. Instead of me building everything in the beginning, for example, you can do better workflows with Pathway Connect, and you can do it with ConnectSet. You can do it with Plug and Pay. For example, once a payment is made, you can connect to something externally. You can add them to a newsletter. You can also invite them to a Acadle. So it's like one platform giving you more flexibility. Why should we start reinventing the wheel quickly? I mean, it's something there which is already available, but yeah, we'll definitely have this coming to our platform.
Right. It's not like we're going to say, hey, please spend another 1.5 years of your life and also build us a branded affiliate platform. So that way we have affiliates that can help us resell, because that's just not your focus. That's not your forte. We're not going to ask you to build that out. It just makes sense to use another platform that already has that capability. Yes, payment gateways, yes, a subscription, but also have the students of the LMS also promote the LMS and get paid for it. I think that's kind of a no-brainer.
Absolutely. One interesting workflow that I tried today is if you use viral loops, and if you're running a campaign on viral loops, the moment you reach at a stage, when this participant reached at a goal, you can automatically trigger the invite to the academy. So I was just playing with the sample applications available. I mean, for me to build all these tools together, I think this is really going to take a lot of time. But I think this interesting tools like Pabbly, Connect, ConnectSet and all that are going to, and Integrate is also, by the way, coming this week. All these are going to give you more and more, things to dream about, or connections to make, or workflows to be made.
Is it possible now that if you do connect viral loops, you can connect it, say, to Pabbly, and then it will connect to Acadle already for an
Already
auto
possible.
invitation?
Already possible. You
Oh,
can,
wow, I didn't even think about that.
automatically tag them, by the way. Yes, I tried that today. It's possible. Yeah.
I didn't even think about that. So then that makes me think: do we use other gamification platforms like Socialmonials that's out, Woo Rise? As long as they have their as long as they have their pathways already submitted to Pabbly Connect and Integrately, maybe it makes sense that we also use those gamification platforms to draw users and draw students into the LMS.
Yeah, think of this. For example, I launched an academy, one public academy where I'm talking about some, let's say, motivation, coding, anything, right? So I can run a viral campaign using viral loops in the login page. So there is a subscription that is required, you pay, let's say, $10 and get it, or invite 10 people and get a free access, right? Or so that's the way that you can basically get your marketing, or get your academy going to the next level, going to viral. So all these are kind of pretty much already there. I think we should definitely start trying those.
Makes sense. We'll have the last question from last week's comments, and then we have one question in chat. So let's go ahead and bring up Terry. Terry's question was, what are your expectations for Acadle? Do you want to make it number one in the field, or do you want to just be a simply good enough platform?
I think we answered this in the last episode. But I would like to repeat it.
Sure.
We don't want to be just another good enough platform. We want to be number one for sure. But being that number one, we have a proper focus on where do we need that number one to be. So I think, that announcement will come soon when we start building the extra features. I mean, for me to put that announcement right straightforward, I think it's not going to make sense, because I have my long roadmap still, which is yet to complete.
Perfect. And let's go ahead and answer that last question that we had. So thank you for Jeremy. He has a question about embedding. So let's put that up real quick. Can you talk to us about embed within our own tools, please? This was taken from the acadle.com/features. Authentication via API. Use our APIs to allow access to your academy automatically and embed it within your own tool to not take them out of your product.
So let's say if I'm running, so I'm taking my own example. I have an enterprise CRM product. It's a productivity solution, by the way. So the embed enables you to take this academy as a widget, as a chat widget sort of a widget inside your SaaS product. So what it does is, when you can pass the email ID and it will automatically generate the password automatically. So I mean, what we're trying to say is that you don't want to make your users switch from your SaaS product to a different platform if you want to share an academy access with them. Instead, you can use this widget, place it inside the SaaS product that you have, or any product you have. And they'll be able to see a widget on the down footer, on the right down footer, and they can click that and they can see the academy courses and lessons from inside your application itself. So what we're trying to do is not making your users to switch between multiple platforms, and it is going to be more comfort for them to just stay in the single window rather than switching between multiple windows.
So there we go. Appreciate that. Jeremy, thank you for the question as well. Guys, that's pretty much it for today. Again, we said it was going to be short. This was just almost kind of like a recap, Q&A of some of the things that we didn't get a chance to cover. Some of those questions did pop up. We did answer some of you inside the comments after the stream, but we did want to do a quick stream just because we had an abundant amount. So Nizam, thank you for your time. Guys, thank you for joining us today. And thank you for everyone who happened to ask those questions. Apologies again, we couldn't get through. It was 2 hours and we still had a lot of people, but we had to cut it short eventually sometime, but I'm glad that we got the time to answer everyone's questions on stream. And I hope that answers some of your questions. Don't forget, also, we have the coupon code here at the bottom. Please use the lowercase of MarTech, and that's going to get you a 20% off until the end of the week. And on that note, tune in. We have a webinar in the group tomorrow for a walkthrough with ConnectZit or ConnectZit. It's a Zapier alternative. And also Friday for our regularly scheduled weekly stream. You are you are very welcome. We try to make this as interactive as possible. Don't worry, we'll have you guys on for Friday and make that an interactive live stream as well. Everyone be safe. Nizam, anything else before I let you go?
Thank you. Thanks, Bruce. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. See you soon.
Take care, guys. Have a good one. Bye.